Perfect. Bolts from the Blue. Yeah, we were wrapping up that mission. Learned about our super dog. Let's see. We didn't have any quests, did we, from you? Yeah, we cleared them all out. Had our first A rank one. I assume they'll go up higher than that.
The Litlins have been up to their old tricks again.
Chunk. Switch. But yeah, this game is just... It's been good from the start, and it just keeps, like, ramping up. I've really been enjoying it.
Ah, my dear nephew.
Mr.
How
Smith,
I've missed
please.
you.
How did you find this place, Uncle?
Get out of there.
Through the good offices
Get out
of
of
young
there.
Sir Wade. He really is the most helpful fellow.
I don't know why he loves
As
climbing
are
behind my
you,
PC.
I hear.
He's a mess.
The Guardians and those they freed tell the most outlandish tales of your heroics in Rosalith. Which is why I came, to learn the full truth of the matter. Sort
And
of
Uncle
fact
Byron's like
or
our
fiction,
one
so to
bit
speak.
of comedic relief we
You
get.
were working with the Guardians of the Flame to evacuate the people of Rosalith to Port Isolde.
I was. Aye.
Then I have questions for you. Please, come inside, Uncle.
Gladly. You there? There are 2,000 gold talents in those chests. See that they're added to my nephew's coffers, would you?
2,000?
Cool.
And
I
I'm
still have
afraid
nothing to
that
do
is
with my
all
guild
I know.
anyway.
A fleet sailing south past Port Isolde. Most intriguing.
Forgive me for not being able to tell you more. I hadn't the faintest idea Kupka withdrew wounded from Rosalith. Still less that my own nephew dealt the decisive blow.
What do you think, Vivian?
I think, with this news of the Dalmekian fleet and recent reports of the Royalists' movements, that the final piece of the puzzle has fallen into place.
Where are we going?
Come here and I'll show you. It is known that Kupka's
get a lot of
forces
use out of
entered
this map.
Rosaria via its unguarded coast. So can the same be said of your visitors from Waloed? Certainly her Royal Navy is famed for the efficiency with which it bears her knights from one battlefield to the next. And in the Einherjar, or Black Galleon, she boasts a vessel nigh as swift and every bit as feared as the kingdom's legendary cavalry. A fitting flagship for a land apart, her naval presence being crucial to her ambitions beyond Ash. Yes, it seems safe to assume that the Royalists did indeed enter Rosaria from the sea. So then, had you a vested interest in Titan's survival, whither would you take him? Why, home to Drake's Fang, a place rich enough in ether to conjure the magics needed to mend his hurts.
How do you mend not
Or
having
would that not
hands?
entail an arduous voyage around the southern cape? Let us say that the Royalists did put ashore with a mind to spirit Kupka away from under your very nose. Could that truly have been their plan for him? To load him aboard one of the ships flying Republican colors sighted off the coast near Port Isolde. To spend weeks at sea, being tossed hither and yon by unforgiving waves, his life hanging in the balance. No. The journey would mean Titan's death, and Kupka's faithful creatures would not allow it. So what then was the plan of our Waluda friends? Reports suggest they made not for the coast, but for the desert. And by cutting through the Velcroy, a party traveling light would have Titan back in his bed days before a galley could lurch into port. To wit, it was the Royalists' not the Republicans who effected Hugo Kupka's safe retreat. I would stake your life on it.
They just carried him back.
So it was the Waluders who spirited the wretch away. Now I think about it, there was something a little strange about the ships I saw. The men seemed almost crestfallen, as if in mourning, as if they believed, or were made to believe, that their master was dead.
You have a keen mind, Lord Rosfield. And you have your answer. To find Kupka, you have merely to follow the Royalist trail across
We haven't gone to the
Velcro.
desert yet.
It may well have gone cold by now. But as they say in the Republic, all roads lead to Drake's Fang.
Allow me to accompany you part of the way. As luck would have it, I had intended to journey Canberward on business after visiting you here. The Fang would be but a short detour.
I'd be glad of the company. Give me a moment to make ready. I need to tell my friends what we've learned.
New party
Where we're
member?
going.
For
Very
now?
well, but be quick about it, my boy. Time waits for no man.
Yeah, I think we're all good. We did like all the side stuff.
It's finished outfitting her little workshop out here. With a...
Otto. Kupka's at Drake's Fang. I'll be leaving before sunset.
You're not going in there alone, are you?
Don't worry. I'm not going there to destroy the Mother Crystal. All I'm after is Kupka's head. I won't risk any more than I have to. I promise.
The Lancer and the Fang are all Kupka's personal fiefdom. You have any trouble on the way, you ask for Rosina Dalamil. Some call her the Desert Hare.
Who is she?
An old associate of Sid's, and only Sid's. All I know is the name, and that they used to meet at the Dalamil Inn. We've heard nothing from her since he died. But I'm thinking maybe the new Sid might be able to bring her back into the fold.
Thanks. I'll
We have
keep that in
so many
mind.
new people joining the group.
So, what about your uncle? I mean, he's welcome to stay, but...
Don't look so worried. He'll be coming with me.
Thank fuck for that.
Gav, Otto, I'm leaving you two in charge.
It's not that bad.
You can count on us.
Little baby hops.
All right, Uncle. I'm ready to depart. Shall we?
We shall. Come, let us away to adventure.
I don't feel like we're dressed for the desert. Ekian Republic. How's Byron taking Jill's place for now?
I was a young man when last I walked this path. There's an old trading post not far from here. The road to Drake's Fang leads through it.
The trading post it is.
Alright, let's see how big this zone is. Riddle of the Sands. That's fairly large.
Let's go.
Our destination lies over that dune, beyond the ruins. Mark them well, Clive. It's all too easy to lose one's bearings in the sands.
Okay, we're a little higher level than most of these enemies.
Many years ago, when you were just a boy, you and I rode this way together, accompanying your father on a scouting expedition to Drake's Fang.
He let me come with you.
I'm not surprised you don't remember. It was just before Joshua was born. You were so eager to be there when your brother arrived that you whipped your chocobo too hard on the journey home and fell from the saddle. I shall never forget how Elwyn fussed over you as you sat in the sand, bawling like a babe.
What are you?
Time to fight.
Need to get some combat in. Warm up. Oh, I tried to parry. There we go. It's a little overkill for just a dog. Yeah, I feel like Titan's definitely going to stick on my rotation for the rest of the game.
There she is.
Really not that many
Good
enemies out
old
here.
Dalamil Inn. Do you know, this heat has given me quite a thirst. Quick drink before we press on?
I think I've said it every time, but every time I sit down to play this game, it impresses me with how good it can look in some scenes.
Look, there. Those are Ashen steeds. No doubt about it.
And such a long ride from Stonehair. Our Waluda friends must be soothing their saddle sores in the inn. Shall we join them? Run along and play now, Torgal. Dogs aren't allowed inside.
Aww. Gonna get a bar fight?
Good day to you. Eating?
Sorry about my pal. He only talks when his mouth's full. What do you recommend?
Well, if you're after something light, we do a fine chocobo soup with lentils and honey.
2 bowls of
I
that,
don't like
then. An ale.
eating
you are?
chocobo.
Hey, girl!
Coming!
Your pal?
Would you rather be my squire?
Oh. You're here.
Your Grace, it is plain you are not yet well enough to travel. If you would only let me take you to someone who can better attend to your ills.
No, we must press on. Prince Dion has returned to his camp and will soon depart for the front. I must speak with him at all costs. Miss this chance and I may never get another. You do understand that?
Yes, Your Grace. But you must at least agree to take your medicine. I'll fetch you some water.
Why is this building up so much? Just like long tracking shots. They're so weird. I feel like nothing else has been shot like this in the game.
All I see is sand.
I hear they got our guest back to the Fang without any trouble. We'll be leaving soon enough.
Why the Lord Commander dragged us all this way just to save that blockhead skin, we'll never know. Dominant or not, he's a bloody idiot.
That'll be Cooker, then.
Well, let's get this down us. We've a long way to go.
Hey, you.
Uncle?
Sorry.
Can you walk, Your Grace?
What's wrong?
I fear trouble may be brewing downstairs.
Pretty interesting scene.
You two are travelers, are you not? Me and my companions are strangers here. Perhaps you'd be good enough to accompany us a while. Help us find our way.
Sorry, lads, but we've got business in camera that can't wait.
Ah, I'm sure you could spare us an hour or two. Friend.
Yeah, is it just me, or does it feel like the way these camera pans are going is completely different than anything else we've had?
I'm afraid we don't have a moment to lose. Stay back, Uncle.
Gladly.
All right.
It's the outlaw. Take him.
Try it.
Nope. Jesus.
Bravo, my boy! Just like that!
Ah, I tried.
So far from home.
Oh, give me a level.
For your trouble. Word of advice, miss. That soup could do with a touch more salt.
I like Byron. He's great. He's such a different energy than anyone else in this story.
Now's our chance. Your Grace?
I'm fine.
You know, we had that one moment at the very beginning of the game where we got to play as Joshua, and then just never anyone else again. I thought we might bounce around a bit more when I saw that.
Clive?
Why are those carrots modeled
What
so
is it
well?
now?
It's nothing. Let's go.
No one's bothered by the bar fight that ended with us killing 4 of the soldiers?
Where are you?
Well, we didn't know where to find Kupka before. We do now.
The Royalists said it themselves. Their guest is in the Fang.
Am I not allowed to leave?
Ah, they've closed the road. And it's the only way from here to the Fang. It would seem Lord Kupka is not accepting visitors at present.
We have to get through that gate.
Just fuck them up.
Not by force, I trust. We've attracted quite enough unwanted attention already.
By guile, then. Perhaps the Desert Hare can offer us her aid.
Rosina Dalamil, woman of mystery. But how will we find her? We know naught of her but her name.
And that she was working with Sid. Sid's other collaborators have all been people of means, the wealthiest and most successful members of their communities. I'll wager this Rosina Dalamil is the same.
That would certainly help to narrow the search. We need only inquire as to who is in charge of the town.
And that's exactly what I mean to do.
Do you have any shops here? Just the one.
Looks like we won't be getting back to Drake's Fang anytime soon.
Are you looking for something in particular?
Platinum sword. Ah, mine's better. Do you have anything better than what I have? Meteorites. Desert Rose. I mean, I'll take like 5 of those, sure.
Here you are.
I have so much gil.
Fare you well.
The gate is closed by order of Lord Kupka. Any attempt to gain passage to Drake's Fang will be punished with arrest and incarceration.
Okay.
Crystal delivery's over. Get back to your home.
Anything I can help you with, travelers?
Allow me. My good man, we represent one of the oldest and greatest trading houses of Port Isolde. We're seeking to expand our business in the region and would very much like to make the acquaintance of Dalamil's leading entrepreneurs. If only we knew where to find them.
Well, we're best known for our baths, our markets, and our smithies. I suppose you could do worse than start your search at one of those.
Thank you. You've been most helpful. Oh, you wouldn't happen to know a lady by the name of Rosina Dalamil, would you?
No. I can't say I do.
Turn on the charm when he needs to.
Well, thank you all the same.
What do you want? Can't you see I'm busy?
I won't keep you long. I'm looking for someone. A woman by the name of Rosina Dalamil. Do you know her?
Never heard of her. Is that all?
One more question. If I wanted to find the richest trader in town, where would you recommend that I look?
Oh, that's easy. The Briar's Kiss. Won't find a finer smithy this side of the strait. The owner's only a young sprig. But he's got all the right ideas.
The Briar's Kiss, you say? Thank you.
I doubt this young sprig is the person we're looking for. You said Sid's contact was likely to be an influential sort.
Ooh.
Influence
I'll
comes
take that.
with age and experience. Believe you me.
Fucking men of the wrong.
So we got Briar's Kiss, the baths, the markets.
Mummy, I want to play with the crystal.
Can I help you?
Yes, I'm looking for a woman by the name of Rosina Dalamil. A long-standing pillar of your community, I believe, from old trading stock.
Then you should ask further. He's been here for years. Knows the place and its people like the back of his hand. And he's in with all the old merchant families. Try the baths. That's where you'll usually find him.
Thank you kindly. Well, it sounds like we have our man.
That sounds like the way to go.
Perhaps. Let's go and find out exactly what this Furder knows.
Hanging lanterns, keep the darkness from your door.
Excuse me. Are you Furder?
I am.
Wow,
Can I help?
nailed that first try.
I hope so. You've lived here for some time, is that correct? Do you know Rosina Dalamil? We believe she may be a trader of some renown.
And what business do you have with the desert hare?
She was a close friend of mine. I was hoping she might be able to help me.
Very well. Go to the bordello. I'll arrange an introduction.
Easy enough.
Just look at the detail. Do you think we can trust him?
Only as far as I think.
So you're the ones who've been sniffing around.
It's absolutely a fight.
Pardon?
Don't play the fool. Stick your nose in our business and you're likely to lose it.
Okay. This is when you give up. These ruffians. What's their plan? It's uncalled for. so much overkill for just a couple of goons. There we go. Finally.
Who are you working for? Him or her?
Him. The boss. He wanted us to test you.
Though one could hardly call that a test.
Lord Ferda?
Look what the cat dragged in.
Your skill with the blade is rare indeed, my lord. A fitting talent for an outlaw.
You know who I am. So what now? Call in the Men of the Rock and collect the bounty?
That isn't my decision to make. Our work is done. Take him to meet his precious Rosina. She will be interested to make his acquaintance.
Yes, my lord. To the Lock of Leisure, then.
To the Lock of Leisure.
Weights and pots!
Needed.
Spending longer in this town than I expected.
Like eating a clown.
Once you go flat.
Crust.
The most fragrant
What?
herbs.
The finest fabric.
Once you pop, they're great.
Is this the place?
Ubor's Forge. The Briar's Kiss.
Ah, so it was the young sprig after all. So much for Rosina Delamil being a woman of experience. How wrong I was.
It was an easy mistake to make, Uncle. After all, it must have been years since Sid last saw her. Sorry, him. Whoever this Lubor truly is, he's clearly a man of means. I'd say he deserves our respect.
See that he gets it. Lubor, Lord Ferda told me to bring them to you.
My boys tell me you're in need of assistance. Sid the Second.
I won't waste your time. I need passage through the south gate.
Tell me, what do you think is a merchant's most important commodity? Why, trust. Everyone knows that. Without it, you have nothing. And nothing is exactly what you have. And so, for you, I, too, have nothing. I'm not in the business of helping every lost puppy that wanders in off the street. I'm a busy man, as you can see.
Let's leave this mummer to his farce.
By all means. Find someone else to help you on your way. Just be sure to tell them you're not the two travelers from the inn the guards are looking for. Don't want them jumping to conclusions, do we?
Why, you...
So, what do we need to do to earn your trust?
West.
I like this one. Willing to do whatever it takes to get what he wants. Ha! Men like you have a special place in my heart. Why, you ask? Because they get me what I want. Always.
Fine. So what do you want?
Don't tell me you're going to listen to this swaggering scruff.
We might as well hear him out.
What an insult.
It's only natural that an ally of Sid's would seek assurances of strangers. Assuming he is an ally, of course. 5 years ago, he would have still been a boy.
And yet even then I had more good sense than a man, 5 times my age? But enough of the pleasantries. We were speaking of what I want. I want you to put an end to the trouble in Dalamil.
That sounds
Return to me
broad.
when you have done so, and you shall have my aid. Until then, I bid you good day.
What trouble? If you're going to give us orders, be clear about them, damn you!
Manners, Greybeard. One catches more damselflies with honey than with vinegar.
What did you call me?
My apologies. A word of advice in recompense. Follow the crystals. Oh, but that was 3. Oh, I'm making this too easy for you.
Ha! It will be easy. Solving his little riddle should be like dealing with him. Child's play. Let us divide our forces, Clive. I'd rather not drag this parlor game on any longer than we need to.
All right. Good luck, Uncle.
I'm sure we'll do all the heavy lifting. Follow the crystals.
We were the only ones causing trouble in Dalamil. Excuse me. Is it true there's been trouble with crystals of late?
You've heard, then?
I've heard rumors.
Damn thieves. Pilfering the crystals that were meant to fill our cups and light our stoves. Us common folk have hardly had a shard to share between us these last few moons. And it isn't as if we can buy them on the black market either. Whoever's taking them, they aren't sharing.
I had a lot of the just go talk to random townspeople.
What can I do for you, soldier? Need that sword polishing?
I'm not a soldier.
Ugh, then be off with you. I serve the men of the Rock and the men of the Rock only.
You have an agreement with them?
Don't be stupid. I just know which side my bread is buttered. Don't want to be stuck under some pauper when they come knocking. With pockets deeper than Zemeckis and an urge to empty them. No, just leave, will you? Before
Never
you scare
heard
them
that
off.
phrase before.
Do you have a moment?
Depends what for.
Just a question. Dalamil seems to be thriving compared to the other villages I came through on the way. Is there a reason for that?
Well, we're a stone's throw from Drake's Fang for one. The soldiers guarding the Mother Crystal and the shipments need a place to spend their hard-earned gil. The men of the Rock throw their money about like there's no tomorrow.
Is that so? Well, thank
Men
you.
of the Rock is a pretty
Don't let me
cool
keep you from your work any longer.
Italian name.
I think I'm starting to get an idea of what's been going on. I wonder if Uncle Byron's learned anything of use. He'll probably be back at the inn by now.
He couldn't last 2
Why is
minutes.
the tavern shut?
It's you, the one who broke all our
Ah.
furniture. What do you want? Haven't you caused enough trouble already?
I'm looking
Just
for
knock
my
the
pal.
table or two over.
Have you seen him?
The gentleman who was with you? Yes, he's upstairs, but
Thank you. I'll go and fetch him.
Inside? Hey, Torgal. No.
Will this suffice as a deposit?
By the sands. That's a black pearl.
One of the many treasures in my collection that I would be only too happy to part with, should you give me reason to do so.
All right. I'm sure that we can come to an agreement, but not here.
What are you doing, Uncle? Care to explain why you're giving gifts to Kupka's men?
Bait, my boy. One cannot catch one's prey without it. And I do believe I've snagged us quite the quarry. I started by asking around the markets as to where I might purchase crystals. I had no luck, of course. It's forbidden to trade in such things. But my uncharacteristic indiscretion just happened to attract the attention of those uniformed ruffians. They took me aside and said they could procure the crystal I sought if I proved I could pay for it.
So the pearl was your proof?
I thought they'd ask for more. A second-rate specimen like that would only fetch 500,000 or so. A small price to pay for admittance to the underworld. But enough about my little act of subterfuge. What did you discover?
That the supply
Actually
of
got
crystals has
shit done.
dried up of late. And some people seem to think they're being stolen. Meanwhile, members of Kupka's private guard have been spending money all over town. I'll wager those soldiers you've been talking to have been siphoning off crystals meant for elsewhere, and pocketing the profits.
I'll wager you're right.
We'll meet with them then, just as you arranged, and put an end to the trouble Lubor spoke of.
Ha! That preening popinjay thought this would be difficult. It just goes to show, one should never underestimate a Rosfield. We'll soon wipe that smirk off his face. I arranged to meet with the soldiers in a secluded corner of the Velcroy, far from prying eyes.
Okay. More desert. What's this little... Yeah. Love these little sprites. They're
Perfect
super
place
charming.
for a spot of double dealing.
I trust I can count on your support if things turn sour.
I'm sure they will.
Of course.
What was all that crashing and banging about before?
Not here.
Okay, let's just book it.
Ambrosia.
And I can't imagine if you just didn't do the side quest to get a chocobo. The amount of time this saves can't be understated. I don't really feel the need to fight any of these random battles.
I'll take it from here.
That's an absurd amount of crystals.
I was beginning to think you weren't coming, my lord. You've brought your contribution?
All the silver and stones I could scrape together at such short notice?
You brought the whole 500 talents.
That was the price we agreed upon, yes? If you've no objections, I'd like to see the crystal.
Of course. Right this way, my lord.
Not bad at all. You weren't lying about the clarity. But what of security? If I were to be stopped on the road, what guarantee have I that it wouldn't be seized as property of the Republic?
Because these crystals are no longer the property of the Republic. You're not buying from us. You're buying from them.
And we have no more jurisdiction here than you, my lord. But we have ships, and will gladly deliver to a port of your choosing, now that our price has been met.
Royalists, eh? What brings you here?
Why, to collect their share of Drake's Fang's blessing, of course. Our nations are allies, and so they are entitled to a portion of the Mother Crystal's bounty. And being such good friends, we elected to increase that portion and share the benefits. And now that these crystals are officially property of the Kingdom of Waloed, we are duty-bound not to interfere, no matter where they might happen to end up next.
Did you get all that? They're in cahoots!
So it would seem.
My lord, what is the meaning of this?
Double-crossing dogs. They're not here to do business. Kill them.
That's one way to do it.
Both.
Jesus, they just exploded.
I'm just getting warmed up.
Chocobos! Guy's just way over here.
Well, that wasn't too bad. How'd you like my performance, huh?
Still wish enemies could put up a bit more of a fight, more
I think I
consistently.
did the role justice. Don't you?
Greybeard, you were magnificent. The battle scene was particularly thrilling. Such a shame you didn't have more of an audience, but perhaps that's for the best.
How long have you been watching?
Long enough to witness your uncle's sordid transaction. I hardly expected one so venerable to degrade himself so thoroughly, buying one's way into the confidence of degenerates. Ingenious.
This was the trouble you spoke of. The men of the Rock taking crystals meant for the common folk and conspiring with the Royalists. Well, now it's over.
Indeed it is. The people of Dalamil had scarcely any means of redress against Kupka's men, let alone a foreign army. Until you two came along, that is.
Yeah, we'll get on anyone's shit list. We pretty much already are.
Well, we'd better get these crystals back to town. You won't mind waiting with them while I fetch a wagon. It occurs to me that I still don't know your name.
Clive.
So, Sid the Second is a Clive? I suppose it could have been worse. Well, Clive, you held up your end of the bargain, so I must do the same. Passage through the South Gate, was it not? To tell the truth, you've helped a little there too. Many of the guards have already been redeployed to deal with the issue of their missing comrades. And those left behind have been encouraged to look the other way should you attempt to pass through.
Thank you. And please allow me to cover your costs. You still have the purse I gave to the soldiers, I trust? I saw you pluck it from one of the bodies.
Oh, dear. Was I really so obvious?
And my name is not Greybeard. It is Lord Byron Rosfield, thank you very much.
No, thank you very much, Greybeard.
Of all the... Ugh!
Here, wear this.
Oh, another brooch.
Any friend of mine who sees you with it shall be a friend of yours.
Thank you, Lubor.
And please, feel free to send one of my Stoluses back to your people. Tell them that Rosina Dalamil is back in bed with Sid.
Stelan. To Isakelis.
God, that's how these things work. They're so weird and cool.
I'm trusting you, Sid. Or should I say, Clive. So be sure not to let me down. I have a reputation to uphold.
Cool.
Well then,
We can move
I wish
on.
you a safe journey south.
Thank you.
Not at all. It was my pleasure.
Come on, Uncle. Let's go.
That was a pretty long one.
Is it true what I'm hearing?
My carpets have...
Oh, we got new quests. Nothing important. I really just can't be bothered with these side quests. They seem so superfluous. We get more than enough XP and whatnot
True to his word.
just from playing the main story.
We should get going soon.
And the rewards are pretty minuscule, especially since I can't find a use for all the gil I already
I'm
have.
not too late.
What is it, Lubor?
A question that I neglected to ask earlier. Where is it that you're bound?
To Drake's Fang. To finish Hugo Kupka.
Just as I thought. Then allow me to share a secret. Drake's Fang is currently riddled with royalists. Talmeki and Waloed are allies, and as you've seen, their soldiers work hand in glove. But no nation has ever before allowed a foreign army to make a barracks of its holiest of holies.
Not by choice, at least.
And there's more. A man on the inside of the Fang has failed to report for several days. I fear there may be more trouble lying in wait for you on the road ahead.
Isn't there always?
If you're determined to beard the lion's den, then promise me one thing. That you will enter via the mines, where the guard is lightest. I've lost one Sid already. If I lose another, people will start to think me careless.
I don't plan on dying. Not before Kupka does, anyway.
Well, so long as you have a plan.
Ooh, there's like another dungeon coming up.
Ready, go?
Fang's Trip.
Drake's Fang should be just beyond these springs. Shall we press on?
God, you can't change icons while chocoboing. Oh boy, 10 gil. Right on top of my 10,000. Or 100,000 rather. 0.1% increase to my wallet.
There it is. Drake's Fang.
Kupka will be hiding inside.
Along with goodness knows how many guards, all on highest alert. You'll need to keep your wits about you if you're to reach him. So be careful.
I will, Uncle.
Going in solo?
Before you go, Clive, allow me to apologize. After what befell at Phoenix Gate and the crisis that followed in its wake, I fled. I retreated to my counting house and danced attendance upon the vicereine in the hope it would bring me favor. I betrayed my nation to save my skin, like the coward I am. And I'm sorry.
Uncle, please.
It's not too late, Clive. Rosaria is yours by right, and there are those that would help you to take it back. Had I the courage of my brother, I might already have done so. But that ship has sailed. You, however...
No. Forgive me, but I cannot. I fight to build a new world now. A better world. Where men can live and die on their own terms. I was raised in a nation that strove to improve the plight of bearers. Only later did I realize that spark of freedom did not arise by chance, but was kindled by my father. You would see me follow in his footsteps. And that is exactly what I mean to do. Not by ruling Rosaria, but by extending his ideals to the whole of the twins. Though every soul in the realm may judge my actions heresy, I am certain my cause is just.
You really are just like him, you know? Thank you, Clive, for coming back to me. I am proud to call you nephew. Well then, this is where we must part ways. Wish me luck in convincing my Canvarian friend to share his considerable talents. I mean to plunder his coffers and prove myself worthy of a place in your merry band. Till then, my boy.
Till then, go safely, Uncle.
Can't hear that.
And you, nephew.
Stupid.
We have much to catch up
This
on.
is what all
you
true
and I.
warriors strive for.
I shall expect you to regale me with the
My
tales
boy.
of all your adventures when next we meet. You can regale me too, Torgal.
for you, Kupka.
Well, I assume we'll actually fight Titan this time. Two of the crystals down. Just now noticing this giant hole. That'll probably be a thing.
What are they stored? What has that gutter rat done to me? Out of my sight, witch! I'll kill you, Rossfield! I'll rip out your heart! I'll tear you limb from limb!
Peace, Hugo. The table shan't hurt you any longer.
He sought to humiliate me. Me! If you hadn't interfered, he would be dead!
You truly believe you would have triumphed at the battle
Dude, you lost your hands.
Titan would have ground him into dust!
And how would he have done that without his head?
Shut up!
You weren't strong enough, and you call yourself a dominant. Or rather, you did.
You mock me, Harbert.
Damn. Get fucked.
Do you see, Hugo? You are weak.
Fuck!
But so long as that fire burns within you, there is still hope. There may yet be a way for you to take your revenge.
Tell me, what must I do? Please, I'll do anything. Just tell me.
The heart.
What of it?
A mother crystal's heart is the most concentrated
fanciful
source
hairstyle.
of ether in all creation. Perhaps you could take advantage of that. Of course, the crystal would not yield her blessing to any ordinary man. But then, you are no ordinary man, are you, Hugo? Clive Rossfield stole your power, but others have suffered a similar fate, and still managed to find the strength to conjure their icon. Like Benedicta Harmon. She too drank of the ether and gained a power beyond human understanding.
She did.
And then she lost.
Benedicta. Benedict. I'll do it. My love. I'll avenge you.
Run along now, Hugo. You need only follow the light. Muthos is here. Very well, it shall be so. You may leave everything to me, Your Majesty.
Mm-hmm. It's extra gooey. It's just like orcs.
Orcs.
Sure enough. Just hanging out here.
Did the royalists bring them from Ash?
Yeah, that's a good boy. All right. Star Trek.
Are the Beastmen part of the Waluda army now? How the hell did that happen?
Orcish spotter. Hey, chill.
It's over.
I just want to keep getting the counter with Titan.
Taking over the entire mine.
You just have to stand around because these regular enemies don't attack that much. Nope.
So much for the men of the Rock. Dalmekia's finest.
It was all wiped out by orcs. Oh, they're all dead. Okay. More excessive potions.
Animals. Should never have left Ash.
Ow. Punch! Okay, please, just let me cast Edition. I don't even really need to heal because I'll pick up a potion and it'll automatically use it. Favor of Lightning. I'm not using Ramu anymore. There you go. Free potion.
Won't be going any further this way. Stairs. This must be the way out.
Oh, come on. How did that whip?
Stay down.
Probably get a level by the end of this. Oh, attacks have leveled up for Torgal. I guess that just happens over time. Yeah, 3,100 XP to level. Getting 100 and something per fight. You are large.
I won't be sneaking past this one. How did it get in here?
Go. $35K. Chill out. Punch! Just don't stand a chance. You have so many options. Being that we can now block, parry, dodge, or strike parry any attack. We have our projectile counter and our physical counter. Oh, am I supposed to go this way? guess we might as well destroy the crystal while we're here.
By the flames. Come on, Torgal.
Kupka never did do
You know,
things
the
by halves.
Earth
Taking
crystal,
the mother crystal for
the
his
least
own wasn't
majestic
enough.
looking.
He had to build his castle in it.
It's not as fantastical as, like, the shining azure blue or red. You.
Let the trial begin.
You're pretty cool. Spirits within! Oh no! Undertaker. Love that counter. It does so much will damage. Punch! Do it. God, the damage! I don't know what that means. There it is. That does too much damage. That does too much damage. Doing 1.5 times with that hits so much. They just melt. Titan's too good.
Seems we're expected.
So this is the power of Muthos.
Who are you? I'll give it
this too.
One thing for this section, at least it mixed it up a bit. I'm not just fighting through the guards on the way here. They've all been wiped out by the orcs. That's kind of cool. I'm just ready for a sick throwdown with Titan. Hello? Okay. Punch! That move's busted too. It seems like, unless I'm just wrong, there are iconic abilities that are like, why are you not using these? And ones that are like, why would you ever use this? Is what it feels like.
What the hell is going on? Are these things here for me? Or for him?
Yes. Bravery. Enhancing their attack. Yeah.
All right.
Nope. Oh, wrong one. Yeah, bravery doesn't really matter if they still don't hit me.
First orcs, now these nightmares. Is this your doing, Ultima? This won't be easy.
These things feel like Kingdom Hearts enemies. Oh, it wasn't ready. I wasn't recharged. Actually could use a little heal. Got kind of careless.
You've been busy, Kupka. But where did you go?
Big bed for a large man.
The heart. He's in the sanctuary. I can feel it. Come on, Torgal.
Oh, I can't just jump. The favor of Earth upheaval. I haven't been using upheaval. I might try it out instead of the rapid punch. I definitely want the big punch, because that's just too good to get rid of. I like the beat down, but maybe upheaval's better.
Just what I needed.
Round up all the casters, take them out. Standing there so long. Always getting hit from off screen.
That better be the last of them.
We have anything to spend? Only 900 from level up. Got 1,300 points to spend. Oh, is this not even upgraded? Extends precise window execution. Oh, well, that's not super helpful. It's not hard to do. I was hoping it would, like, do more damage or something. I guess it already does a shit ton of damage. It's just easier to make it perfect. Raging Fists. Oh, if timed precisely, the first strike can block incoming attacks. Blocking an attack with Raging Fists will change the follow-up attack, increase potency, and reduce cooldown by 50%. I didn't realize this was also a counter. Oh, and tapping makes it last longer? Hold on. So yeah, you have your regular, which is just the, like, jabs. And then if you counter... Oh, just full-on, like, stance and everything. Muda. Okay. Yeah, upgrade that one. Okay, now that I know I can counter with that, we're gonna have to start doing it. That's nuts. Raging Fists. I should have read that when I first got the move.
Benedicta, my everything. I've missed
Just kill him now.
so much.
Stab him right now.
I swear to you, my love, we will never be parted again.
What's wrong with him?
Get away from her! Benedicta!
You had so long to just stab him, Clive.
Oh shit, he's priming. Not now.
Yeah, we got nowhere to fall back on with us this time.
Come on. Find him. You've done this before. You can do it again. Let the flames burn within you. No. Let them burn without. Come to me, Ifrit!
Oh, that's a sick shot. This game has some really, really nice landscape shots. Do we really want to do this in this cave? Alright, here we go. I wanted my fight with Titan. It's big. That's pretty sick. Forgot about that. That's such a cool fucking effect. Oh, we're so tiny. Let's go. You don't seem too intimidating at the moment. You're pretty slow. Hell yeah. You can't melt as hard when you're not just Clive with all your preset abilities. Fair, because these are more cinematic fights that they don't want you melting life bars and skipping phases. He's just chucking rocks.
Nice trick. But if you can do it,
Learn Brimstone? Okay. I love that every time we get to be Ifrit, it's adding new moves to the move list. It always keeps it fresh. Wonderful name. It's like Metal Gear Rising shot. Brimstone. Violent explosion. Hold to increase. You can cancel. Ifrit is invulnerable while charging Brimstone. But if you get hit, it automatically explodes. Okay. Burst. Okay, we just have burst. Oh, I didn't see him getting another thing ready. I've got to have my dash too. It's gotta be a phase 2. That was too little. Just eat the crystal. Performance enhancing crystal. Oh. Yeah, that's definitely the coolest Titan design.
Thunder, help me. It's through or die. I'm coming, Cooper.
Yo, holy shit. Alright, I take it back. I was gonna be like, this fight's Titan fight is the least cool Ifrit fight we've had. You can just use it too. This is not what I expected. It's just straight up like a Metal Gear Rising boss fight. Titan lost. Oh fuck, I was reading the name. Good way to make Titan like actually threatening. Just make him fucking impossibly gigantic. That's a big number.
I've got you now.
That counter is super fun. Okay, ground wave. Alright. Music ramps up. Sounds like Devil May Cry 3 music. Yeah, no, every time I play this, I'm more like, okay, I need to actually go buy the soundtrack, but I don't want to get spoiled on any of the soundtrack before I hear it in-game. Okay. This is an impressively good way to do a, like, giant-sized boss fight. Whenever I think of a boss this big, I think of, like, Savior from Devil May Cry 4 and how not great of a fight that is. Oh, okay. That's also an attack on the back. I love the fucking gigantic ass numbers. Make them bigger, more! Titan's not allowed to have hands either. Oh, hell yeah. Yo, why is this fight so good? Smash! Good shit. Cool rider kick. Split it wide open. Every time. It has to one-up every boss fight. Oh, we're not done? Never mind. Not finished yet. Yeah, what if the entire fight was the climax Bayonetta moment? Just do the whole 15-minute fight of that. Got so much health. Oh, I threw a button! Oh, shit! I'm a fool. Go even more, even further beyond. Got Hulk hands. Hell yeah. That's so good. That's what you get when you let people that make fucking MMO raids make single player bosses. That shit's sick. That's like this one of the sickest boss fights. And we're only like in Act 2 of the game. Like, that's like final boss shit. That's the, like, fighting Julius and Bayonetta, like, end space at the end, equivalent. So good. And that beautiful, like, rendition. I love that every time. It's so good. Damn.
Is that you, Ultima? What do you want?
Your soul is tainted with worthless human will, yet your thirst for power remains undiminished. With every sip you take, you grow in strength, and soon you shall achieve perfection.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You will accept us, Mythos. It is inevitable. You were created for this purpose, and you shall
So this is like FF9 shit?
Never!
Fight it, Clive! Don't let him in!
consciousness. We see now. Human will is so insubstantial it cannot exist in isolation. You mitigate its weakness by interweaving it with your consciousness. We believed we had merely to purge you of your will to claim our vessel. It appears we first have to sever every thread of the consciousness that supports it. No matter. The time to build a new world is not yet upon us. We will contemplate.
I have no fucking clue. This game's gonna go with that shit.
Thank you, Joshua.
One can no more command the power of ether by drowning in its flood than one can constrain the tides by standing in the sea. I had thought Hugo wiser than this, but it seems his head was full of rocks after all.
Titan was strong.
Your
I don't know
Majesty.
who you are, but I really like your hairstyle. Very unique.
But Mythos is stronger.
What?
For 5 years, that man lived only for revenge. Clinging fast to a fiction even as it swept him into the abyss. One cannot change one's nature through force of will alone. Only the Almighty can do that.
Am I supposed to know at this point?
Hugo Kupka, the man who gave his life for a woman's head. A fool like all the rest. That the death of a mother crystal should be so beautiful.
Did you guys just watch that whole thing go down? Sure. Okay.
Some medicine, my lord? I have salves, potions, anything you need.
Stop bothering me, urchin, or you'll feel the back of my hand.
You must consider your health, my prince. If a show of force is needed to keep the Dalmex at bay, you may trust in your dragoons. I beg you to call on Bahamut only as a last resort. His strength comes at too great a cost.
The Empire agreed to an armistice with the Republic, and yet the Emperor still plots its ruin. For now, the Dalmex suspect nothing, and as long as I can hold their gaze, war need not be inevitable. But more than that, Bahamut is the champion of the Empire. When our people look to the heavens, the sight of him gives them hope.
Oh. Good for them.
Forgive me, Terence. Would that you were my master. But alas.
I will always be your loyal servant.
And in other scenes?
Should the Council's brazen maneuvering prompt the Republic to tear up their own treaty and launch a new assault, our soldiers would advance to meet them, cutting across the Central Isles, but not in time to prevent their forces from breaching the southern defenses and storming Twinside. And so the capital would become a battlefield. Thousands of innocents would die. I cannot allow that to happen.
There is one small mercy, at least. You will not be forced to do battle with Titan.
Would that I could avoid doing battle at all.
1,000 pardons, Your Highness.
What is it?
Olivier has been made Emperor. What is the meaning of this?
Kid?
My father's orders. What were they? Quickly! Yes, Your Highness. His Radiance requests that Your Highness maintain position here and...
Yes, my prince.
I must go to the palace.
I'll ready your steed.
What is it now?
Forgive the intrusion, Your Highness.
I know you.
At ease.
We stand in the presence of the Phoenix. You wouldn't want to get your fingers burned.
I hope I'm not interrupting.
Not at all. Though I admit, I did not expect such a distinguished guest.
How many years has it been since the Remembrance ceremony? 20?
I thought you long dead. Do I address a ghost?
Many have told me that I look like one. But no. I'm alive. Just. Prince Dion of the House Lesage, I have a tale to tell you.
Joshua has definitely grown on me as we go deeper. And back to the hideaway, I guess. 3 crystals down. If we have some new hunts we can go do.
I'd better give Otto the good news.
Also, do we have any points to spend? 5,000 from a level. Ah, we only have 350 points. I'll wait on that. Anything I want costs about 1,000. Oh yeah, I'm sure we'll have a near feature film for the ending, I'm sure. Metal Gear Solid style.
What became of Kupka?
Oh yeah, that's always an interesting thing of like going, like people upload stuff as like the movie and it's just all cutscenes. Well, a quick Google search shows that apparently all cutscenes, a full game movie, there's a couple of uploads, somewhere around 18 to 20 hours. I guess it depends on what you count as a cutscene worth putting in it. The first one I see is 18, the second one is 20. So yeah, it's pretty long.
Clive, you're back.
I am. And with glad tidings for once. Hugo Kupka is no more.
Well, I'll be.
Man, I think I probably will end up playing Persona 3 Remake when it comes out on stream.
We had a stolus from Lubor saying Drake's
That is like one of my favorite games, period, and I'm very excited about the remake. And so, hey, we've already played 1 and 5. Let's just go right in the middle.
Welcome home, Clive.
It's good to be back. You look better.
3 is my favorite.
Which means
And having it not be weighed down by being a janky PS2 RPG
Wouldn't dream of it.
can only make it better.
Otto, any word on the Royalist movement since I've been away?
Shouldn't you be putting your feet up? If you really want to know, go and have a word with Vivian.
Thank you. I will.
That's supposed to be like early next year, right? Yeah, I'm super stoked for that. Persona 3 was the first Persona game I played, and it's still my favorite by a hefty margin. Love that game to death. Oh, we have a lot of new ones. Grimalkin, the 9 of Knives. Interesting. Oh, do we have an S rank? The Breaker of Worlds? Excuse me? Alright, let me put these down. Because I still hate that you can't mark these on your map. We'll go do some of those tonight. Those are the only side thing I really care about doing.
And with hardly a scratch on him.
I may have picked up one or two.
Well, the fact that you came straight to me instead of visiting our resident physiker suggests that you picked up something more important. A scent. The scent of Waludas.
The very same. But whatever plans Kupka was hatching with the Royalists, he took them to his grave, as did his men, slaughtered by the orcs who'd taken over.
He literally turned to dust.
Orcs, Vivian. I've never seen such creatures in Storm before. The Waludas must have ferried them over from Ash, but why? Why work to rescue Kupka only to invade his home, the mother crystal of an allied nation, and let both fall? It makes no sense.
Do you know the tale of the blind men and the Adamantus? One can often be led astray by focusing too closely on individual details. One must instead see the bigger picture. And what bigger picture is there than my map?
Always got to go to the map.
The kingdom of Waloed claims dominion over all of Ash. It is a nation forged by the bloody conquest of Barnabas Tharm, the dominant of Odin. The Canvarian War
Oh
of
yeah, we saw Odin for like
849.
one brief little
Battle of the
cutscene.
Twin Realms in 865.
Oh, I want to fight
The
Odin.
Battle of Belinus Tor in 873. Wheresoever his armies fought, Odin was found where the fighting was fiercest. But of late, the warrior king appears to have laid his sword to rest. Battle rages for control of the crystalline dominion. Yet Tharm sends not a single ship in support of his Dhalmekian allies. Meanwhile, the Blight ravages great swathes of Ash. Yet warlike Waloed shows not the faintest interest in laying claim to untouched lands. So why go to the trouble of sending an army of orcs into the heart of Drake's Fang, only to make no attempt to claim the Mother Crystal for Waloed? It can hardly be for lack of men. Tharm's armies rival any in the Twins. No. We have not seen the last of the Waluda standard. Odin will ride again. It is but a question of when. And on that day, who will be trampled underfoot? In summary, I know not to what end the Royalists betrayed Kupka. I know only that it is part of some broader scheme. A scheme tied to the ambitions of one man.
King Barnabas.
But there is no need to wallow in confusion. If one is to cure a sickness, one must first identify the symptoms. And your Lord Uncle has volunteered to do just that by keeping an eye on the Royalists' movements.
He's really throwing himself into this.
Indeed he is. Which means all that remains for us to do is await his reports. Well, not quite all in your case. The people of the Hideaway must hear the news.
Justice has been done. Hugo Kupka is dead. The wounds he left that night are still raw. Especially for those who lived
He is the one that chased us to this new hideout.
Tell them that those wounds might finally begin to heal. Consider
I
it
did
the
forget
price
about
of
that.
today's instruction.
I've never known you to be sentimental.
What can I say? I am only human. And we are, all of us, sentimental animals at heart.
I suppose we are. Very well. I'll go and spread the word.
Alright, let's see. About some hunts, if I'm able to go. Is this it? No. Okay, it's all the way up there. Got you. That's a ways to go. Wait, we have our chocobo.
Ready, go? Run like the wind.
I'll just run straight there. This hopefully the last hunts we did last time gave us a shit ton of XP, like the most we've seen in the game. I wonder if what the level cap is. I imagine 50. Because I mean, you level fairly slow. Yeah, straight up here. What is this? The bandit's bed. I have no desire to fight these random dogs. Just a waste of time. Got maxed out potions.
You deserve a rest.
Alright. Just an adamantoise. Basta to column. Sure. Not quite an adamantoise. Me and my dog.
Well, Clyde. Looks like you're gonna need me a bigger sword. This one.
Much damage with that. Oh, that's pretty sick. I like that upgrade. Oh, do you mind? What the hell?
Nice try.
Punch. Oh, that hurts. There it is. That's good. Oh, it recharges like immediately if you get the counter with it. It'd say it was like 50% faster. That's really good. I'm sorry, was that guy worth 10,000?
It should have stayed in its shell.
I just want this. Thank you. Where's that? Go down here. Yeah, that one wasn't too exciting. Just big turtle. Sure.
My carpet.
Take a sniff, good sir.
So this was in the fields of Carava, which are a place we haven't been yet, but it looks like we can go.
Oh, where did all the men go?
Made from the stoutest stoneware.
No, I'm telling you, it's gone.
Chocobo. I feel like you're not supposed to be able to see it spawn in. Just follow this and then take a left. I mainly want, like, the fights are fun, but I really want the XP and the renown we get for the bonuses. I wish I had a little mini map. Cool. Hattery. Leg eater? I don't like the sound of that. So you know very well what that monster does.
This might take a while.
This is a big open area. Bighorn.
No mistakes.
Yeah, no mistakes. Run away. Up. North.
All right.
Maybe? Oh, hold on. It's supposed to be on the other side of that. A little stuck. Six desert roses. Well, I guess I didn't have to buy the 5 I bought.
Straight home now.
Just a swarm of bugs. I don't feel too intimidated by that. Soul Stinger.
They look happy.
Okay, they hurt. They hurt a lot. Oh, okay. Oh boy. That's rough. Time. Oh. Let's not go off the cliff. Squash the bug. Yo, chill. Jesus Christ. A hard knockdown on it, too. Take all of that. The next one is back in the cattery. That'll probably be the last one I do for now. I know there's still like 3 more of them.
Come on. Faster.
So yeah, just straight back across. I guess those bugs were like C rank, so if I had actually dodged once, it wouldn't have been that bad. Excuse me, Bighorn.
This won't be easy.
Let's see. Not that one, but the next one. I actually get to go to the cattery.
Time to fight.
Hold on. Lots of stuff. I would like to snag. Oh, it's 35 gil? That's so worthless. It's like, why even have that as a thing to pick up? I just ignore. It's like almost never a reason, except unless you're in a dungeon. Out in the open world, it's no reason to.
You deserve a rest.
All right, let's do it. Big cat.
Playtime for the pack, is it? Let me introduce you to mine. Get him!
Damn. so many. They just died. Upper sound. That's terrible.
And then there was one.
The big cat leading all the dogs. Damn, dude.
Too slow.
Okay, understood. I now know what that move means.
Help me, boy.
The counters. Beating the shit out of this cat. Only 500 XP.
That wasn't too bad, was it, Torgal?
Apparently the other one's right here next to us, so I might as well do it. This is just him waiting in the middle of the road. It's just a dude. That's kind of cool.
My blade yet hungers, and so do I. Come. Let us feast on
I tried to counter.
Your feasting days are over.
Oh, big spin. Spin to win, understood. Oh my god, okay. It's actually kind of tough. bunch. There we go. If I keep getting that. I hit the wrong button. I tried to counter it like a fool. I didn't expect him to be so strong. Again, these hunts are the only things that have actually done anything to me. So I'm glad they're here. Even though this guy's kind of just hard from the amount of damage he deals. And also I'm going for the big hits instead of just, you know, just dodging. Like if I just do that, it's fine. But I want to do the cool shit. I say as I just stand there and get poisoned. Parry. Oh, it's not ready. I gotta stop. I love that all missed.
Snap you like a twig.
Did it way too early. There we go. Much better. Yeah, that's a lot of XP. 5,000 XP.
Those who kill for sport deserve no better.
Cool. Let's see what rewards we get. Having those is a nice little break from the main story. Like, you have all your side quests too, but meh to those. That's like my biggest complaint in the time I've put into this game is side quests could use a little work or just not be there. It's something, I guess, but they're... Oh, we left one. Oh, the S rank one. No further action taken without Cid's express permission. A fallen giant in the ruins. Interesting. That might kick my ass.
Welcome to the
A ranks put up a hell of a fight.
Your benefactors are a generous lot.
Dire Wolf Jess.
All yours.
Oh, I have to do it to get the next level.
Come again. I may have...
Increase combo damage. Wait. Dire Wolf. Ah. Combo damage by 5%. Is that really good or is that nothing? It's kind of hard to tell. Combo damage by 5%.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't seem like worth getting rid of what I have. See if we can buy some potions and then head off to go, I guess, fight the Destroyer of Worlds or whatever it was called. Buy some potions right up here. Might as well.
What are you after? There you go. Take care out there, eh?
Excuse me. I'm interested to see what an S rank could possibly be. So we're just heading through here down to Cressida. The ruins.
Good girl.
Yeah.
Don't need to fight all these flora and fauna. I should be able to go over that lane. Excuse me, level 19 Minotaur.
Back to the stables go.
Ooh, okay. Alright, you wanna fight? Excuse me? Hey.
No mistakes.
Oh. Punch! That's a good way to build up some limit break before the actual fight. That's a lot of health. Who's here? Steel silk.
You're finished.
240. Wow, that's a lot for just some bugs. Oh. This is quite an arena. Atlas. 20,050 renown. Okay, you seem like you could be a threat.
It seems this one has a little more life left in it. All right then.
Yo, okay.
To me, boy. Over here.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, he's got projectiles. Oof. Level 45, I'm now realizing. Oh my god. Yo, he's coming in. God. Let me knock him down once. Oh, excuse me? Okay, I thought he was going to shoot a projectile. Hold him down. Okay, I'm learning the pattern. Dude, please. Oh, that hurts a lot. Don't get out of the fire, fool. He's tough. Oh, that's gonna be so far away. Wait, where? That's stupid. So restarting at nearest obelisk is like the physically on the map nearest, because this is so far to go. It should have started me there or at Martha's Rest. Starting me here is just, I have to loop all the way around. That's stupid. That's pretty dumb. I'll go back to that one in a little bit. Only because, like, it should let me just restart right before the fight. I'll have to wrap up before long anyway. I do have my soft out at around 11. I need to wrap up by then.
Well, someone looks pleased with himself. It's true what I'm hearing, then.
Nothing escapes you, Lady Karen. It's true. Kupka is dead.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. We were too busy fighting monsters.
Good. I'm starting to get a crick in my neck. Don't let it go to your head, though.
Blackthorn, do you have a moment?
What is it? I'm busy.
I wanted to tell you that Hugo Kupka is dead.
I can't tell you how long I've been waiting to hear those words. This is it then. A new beginning under a new Sid.
I'll try to live up to the name.
Yeah, Hippocrates. I forget about you occasionally.
Ah, Clive. Have you come seeking the gift of knowledge?
No. To share mine, actually. Hugo Kupka is dead.
Oh my. Can it really be true?
Look, he's crying.
Yeah, you shit kids.
Big baby.
And with good reason, children. These are tears of joy. We must offer up a prayer to your parents that the heavens might weep with us. There shall be no lessons today, only thanksgiving and merrymaking. Go, put away your things.
All right. Brilliant.
Finally, a new dawn has broken.
It has.
Thank you, Clive. I cannot wait to share the good news.
Hippocrates. After Kuka fell, Ultima came to me. I need to know what he is. Have you learned anything?
Alas, no. And not for want of trying. I have scoured nigh every historical tome in our collection and found nothing. Not even the sort of conspicuous absence that might suggest a concealment of fact. One is almost tempted to conclude that such a creature never existed.
But I saw him with my own eyes.
I don't doubt that you did. Alas, it seems you are the only one who has. To others, he reveals naught. We see only that which he leaves in his wake, like some terrible force of nature beyond the ken of mortal man.
A bringer of death.
Whether the Ultima you met with was the being itself, or merely another projection of its power, I know not. But until I do, my investigations shall continue.
Thank you. It means a lot. Right. Let's see if Otto has anything else for me.
Ooh. Frames for a second. Oh yeah, was there anything I can make? We got a bunch of stuff from those hunts. Anything new?
So, what'll it be?
Grindstone. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that's not a huge upgrade. But it's a bit of an upgrade. Wait, why is... You got this cool, unique weapon, but then it's like, this regular one is better. 240? Yeah.
No scratches, right?
I guess I'll make this too, because why not?
Should last you a good while.
None of these are better. Reinforce. Diamond sword. I need a bone necklace to enhance it further.
That it? Fine.
I'm telling you, it's true.
I did hear there is an Ultima weapon type thing in this. There is Clive's best sword, as there typically is in your Final Fantasies.
You barely sat down since you came home. Vivian got you running errands or something?
Just spreading the word.
So, the professor's got a soft side, has she? I'd never have guessed.
No.
You know,
She was
that'd
right,
be
though.
cool. Like a post-game
Everyone was glad
bonus.
to hear the news.
Ah, but you ain't told everyone. I can think of plenty of friends back at the old hideaway who'd sleep more peacefully for knowing. Not least of all Sid. You should tell him.
You're right.
Just Moogle noises in the background.
And I will.
Well, when you do, be sure to take Mid with you. She's been going at it hammer and tongs down in that workshop of hers, trying to do her father proud. I can't remember the last time she visited the old sod's grave.
Very well. I'll suggest it.
Okay. Good old mid.
If I don't come up with something soon.
Terrible name. Design's great.
All right, Clive? What do you want?
I'm going to visit Sid, and I thought you might like to come with me.
Sorry, I'm too busy for all that right now. I've got to get this thermal displacement stack sorted.
Thermal...
Displacement stack. Here.
And this is for...
Only the fastest, finest ship the world has ever seen. The Enterprise.
That's cool. I like her getting the
Me and my dad
like
designed
Sid
it together.
role of being the
Where
like
other vessels rely on the
mechanic.
fickle winds to drive them through the water, ours is fitted with mithril engines. And those things have got more push than a behemoth in a bad mood, and more heat than all the hells put together. Which is where the stack comes in. I may have already talked some tight-lipped shipwrights into putting the hull together for me in a little dockyard in Canva. But the stack's a bit more involved, so I'm building it here. Thing is, it's so involved that I'm running behind and it's starting to hold things up over at the shipyard. I'll come and see my dad, though, when I'm done. Whenever that is.
Is there anything I can do to help?
Good old Clive. I were hoping you'd say that. First things first, I need some parts meching. The stack will be made up of 3 major components.
Okay.
There's the plating, here, that channels hot vapors away from the engine. The helm over the top, that disperses all that heat into the air. And the shielding around the sides. That stops the rest of the ship from going up in flames.
The way to put it.
Full suit of armor, then. Probably best to take it one piece at a time.
Then you'll need to start with the plating. Everything else fits onto it. I've got the designs and the list of materials here. Show these to Blackthorn. He'll know what to do.
I can't make head nor tail of them.
Luckily, you don't need to.
Thermal plating designs. You do spend a lot of time just kind of walking back and forth in the hideaway. How many times have we now taken something from Sid to Blackthorn and vice versa? Definitely pads it out a bit. Since I was just here upgrading stuff.
Hell with it.
It's for mid.
This my last chance to say I'm otherwise engaged. I'd spare myself the arseache. Go on then. What is it this time?
She said you would know. Here.
Krieger's Tates. Well, I don't know what the hell you'd want this for, but I can make it. Won't be easy though. And I'll need help. Get Gavinotto in here, will you?
All right.
So Mid's roped us all in here again, hasn't she? Typical. Still, if that's what it takes to get her to visit Sid's grave, I'll do what I can.
And, what is it we need to do, exactly?
Take a look at this. It's this plating. The usual sword grade steel won't work. We need something that can get very hot, very fast, and still keep its shape. That means an alloy. Something that won't break or buckle at the temperatures she's talking about. Which is where you lot come in. I need materials, and I've got my work cut out already. You'll have to fetch them. Now, there's a special kind of sand I'm after that you can only find out in the Velcro.
Stardust?
Stardust, they call it. As for the rest of the stuff, my usual supply should have it in stock. It just needs buying and bringing back here.
Well, we'll get it done quicker if we split up. One of us should probably give you an hand coat in the sand.
And the other can go and get the rest from this supplier.
Right then.
Well, make your minds up who's going where. We can get this over with.
Okay.
Up to you who you take to the desert. I mean, Gav's good in a fight, but he don't have my winning personality.
Ah, don't listen to him. You'll be in the lowest of low company with either of us.
Alright, so we gotta go gather materials and junk. It's good that you can just go right back to the boss fight. I'll probably wrap up here before we get too in deep with anything.
And what can I do for you?
Enhancer. Oh. See, she always, like, I come back after a mission, she has a new weapon for sale, but I can just make a +1 version at the blacksmith every time. I've never not had the goods to do so. And I'm not scrounging for goods, I'm just picking them up from beating enemies. Makes the shop feel kind of pointless in most cases. Especially when we're just walking around with 150,000 gil. Like it's nothing.
You going after the Stardust then, are you? Which one of these two lucky souls is going with you?
Let's go, Gav.
Gav, you're with me.
All right then. So, where do we find this Stardust stuff?
There's a river that runs through the southern reaches of the Velcroy. It's the black sand that washes up on its banks that you're after.
Southern reaches of the Velcroy, eh? That's down past Dalamil. I'll go and scout the place out. See about hiring us a wagon to bring the stuff back to.
All right. I'll meet you by the river.
While you're off having a paddle, I'll pick up the rest of the stuff from Blackthorn's supply. Take care.
You two, eh? Don't go letting them fleece ya.
Fleece me? I like to see him try.
In your own time.
Alright, let's save. Perfect. A little more progress made. It was a shorter one tonight. I did look up to see that there are 47 main quests. And we're apparently on, what was this one? Out of the Shadow? We're on number 32 out of 47 on the main quests. So we're a good ways in. 68%. It'll take a handful of more sittings to get through the back end of it, but we'll beat it before long. That's going to be it for tonight. Let me see. This week, we've got Pikmin coming out, so we're definitely going to play some Pikmin. As well as keep working on Final Fantasy and other little odds and ends with N64. And setting up for another crowd control with Donkey Kong. Might do a week of, we'll do like Pikmin and crowd control next weekend. Would probably be a good one. And I might do like a random stream of Final Fantasy during the week if I'm up to it one night. See? Just to get that extra time in with it. But for now, that's going to be that. Game's still real good and only getting better as we play more of it. So I'm excited to see where it goes. So, thanks for watching, guys. See you all next time, and have a good night.